Hello everyone, my name is Suman and welcome to my first video. Today we're going to be building a very simple yet elegant pen and pencil holder. Let's get started. Today we will be working with this rough-sawn 4/4 or 1-inch thick cherry lumber. Before we can work with this piece, however, we need to first mill it to be flat and square. We will discuss the lumber milling process in a future video. However, in short, this material needs to go through a jointer, a planer, and a table saw for it to be flat and square. With our lumber milled, we now have a decision to make. This particular piece is still about 1 inch thick, and that's too thick for the pencil holder. So what we need to do is find a way to split this material in half its thickness. The best way to do that is on a bandsaw, and this process is called resawing. This will create a new rough edge that can be cleaned up on a planer. As a personal preference, I also like to use the drum sander to refine the thickness. Then, I like to pre-sand all of the pieces before final dimensioning and joinery. For the joinery, we're using simple 45-degree mitered cuts. I wanted the internal dimension of the box to be roughly 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. I find it that it's just big enough that it can hold plenty of pens and pencils, however not so big that they will fall off. Looking at an assortment of writing instruments, I noticed that vast majority of them are about 5.5 inches long. Using that as a guide, I've decided to make the box about 3.5 inches deep so that there is a stick out of about 2 inches. With the final dimensions being complete, we now need to cut a groove or a dado at the bottom of all 4 pieces so that the bottom part of the box can be inserted. Keeping things simple, we will be utilizing an MDF for the bottom piece of the pencil box. This is a dimensionally stable material that will not expand or contract with moisture changes throughout the seasons. With a couple of passes, we're able to create the appropriate width for the dado such that the bottom piece is able to fit in there nicely. With all the parts completed, we now want to do a dry fit to ensure everything fits nicely and there are no issues. Now, we're ready for glue up. Because we're joining edge grains and not end grains, there's plenty of strength in the mating surfaces with glue. There is no need for miter splines for additional reinforcements for these types of glue up. We can also use standard household blue painter's tape as a substitute for clamps on a project like this. As long as all of the pieces come together nicely, as we've seen in the dry fit, and the tape is pulled in tightly, there is plenty of clamping forces for this glue up to be successful. In all of the times that I've done this type of a glue up with painter's tape, I've never had any failures. We've let the glue dry overnight and now can remove the tape. I purposely made the box a little longer than it needs to be. This way, we can cut it to final dimension on the table saw. In order to make this cut a little bit safer, I wanted to drop the blade a little lower than the thickness of the material. That way, it wouldn't cut through the box. And then, we can use a hand tool to remove the excess material. With a little bit of hand sanding on finer grits of paper, we are now ready for finishing. For projects that will not be subjected to high level of abuse, Danish oil is an excellent choice because it is very easy to apply and provides a moderate level of protection. Because it's an oil-based product, it also makes the grain really pop. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button below and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.